friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going in Raw Overrun.
Bonus
episode. Get used to those lava graphics, man. They might not be around very much
don't get used
longer.
to them.
I said, did I say get used to them?
Yeah.
Get used to not seeing them very much
There you
longer
go.
because they might not be around. Anyways, that's for another day. Welcome to bonus episode.
Yes.
And as always, I want to say thanks to everybody out here who is who's putting in the work supporting us.
Yes, thank you very much.
That's what we want to say.
Thank you very much.
Anyways, we're gonna unwrap this. Seth Rollins, yay or nay, Larson? As you said during the regular show today, everything these days has to be yes or no, black or white. There's no middle ground. There's no nuance. Quick answer: Seth Rollins, yay or nay?
I mean, it's a complex situation.
Nope. It's a yay or a nay.
Well, I can admit that it's a complex situation. Still answer your question. I need to work my way through.
Interesting.
Let's come back around to that. Let's talk about all this stuff first, and then we'll come back around to it. Because,
Okay.
I mean, this isn't just what we're talking about here. Isn't just an isolated thing with Seth. It's something that's going back for a while.
Okay.
His Twitter habits.
Can this be a video? We should do a video essay on just Seth Rollins.
Seth Rollins' Twitter habits. Call it. Should Seth Rollins stay off social media? Probably the best thing he did for a while was quit Twitter for a stretch.
When did he do that?
I think when the Bears lost the game.
Oh, okay. Because didn't he do that like a month ago or
Something
so?
like that. And he came back when the Bears won.
Yeah, okay.
Anyways, so we'll start with backstage yesterday before Raw. Apparently there was a all hands on deck meeting. Vince addressed the locker room.
Yeah.
Said what happened in Saudi Arabia. Damn, it was mechanical issues.
We really need, if we had the resources, we should really recreate that skit. That'd
be great.
Skit,
Well, this is what I found most interesting is the myriad of rumors out there about what would have happened, rather than Vince looking in the mirror at himself, thinking maybe I should be a bit more transparent with my not employees. He blamed them.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, if you just continue with the narrative, there was mechanical issues.
Okay, so no, go because I didn't hear that. But
Yeah. That's essentially what it was. It's like Vince had a meeting,
And this is coming from whom?
Meltzer, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, Meltzer.
The purveyor of misinformation.
I guess so.
All right, cool.
So great assault if you want.
Yeah.
Vince had a meeting with the locker room, talked about the Saudi Arabia travel issues, reiterated mechanical issues, and then said it was the talent's fault. Then any sort of other information got out there because they were spreading misinformation.
And he was staring at Luke Harper the entire time.
I don't know. But I mean, my retort to that is like, Vince, you have a history of being not transparent in the least with your talents. Mm-hmm. Maybe if you were forthright with them, transparent, maybe they believe you when the story is mechanical issues. Maybe they would believe some of these official stories if they are actually official stories.
Yeah.
If you were forthright, if you were consistently transparent with the people who work for you. So that's kind of a bet of Vince's own making. That's kind of my feeling on that. Vince, nay.
Vince is a nay.
Vince is kind of a hard nay.
Yeah.
Additionally to that, apparently afterwards, Vince opened the floor to questions. Apparently Randy Orton tried to make some joke. Rusev said something that was paraphrased is how I read it. Not exactly a question.
Uh-huh.
And then the floor went to Seth, who apparently tried to give some sort of rah-rah
toe the company line
team building speech, but as Meltzer reported, it came off as kind of awkward.
Yeah.
It didn't exactly hit the mark.
Yeah. So
in response to that report, Seth tweeted to Dave Meltzer. You can see it in the thumbnail. Let me pull it up here. Quote, and lastly, Dave Meltzer, you're at best a purveyor of misinformation or at worst an outright vindictive liar. I hope it's the former. #rah-rah.
Somebody asked Meltzer, or a bunch of Twitter people were taking Dave to task, and of course he likes arguing with people with sub-zero follower accounts.
Yeah, it seems like such a waste of time.
But it's kind of interesting because if you do a little bit of detective work, you can start to narrow the field down as to whom his sources are.
Really?
Because somebody said, this information you're getting is obviously from people who, just went through this debacle. They're pissy, they're tired, et cetera, et cetera. And Dave said, what if it was from somebody who didn't go,
Ooh.
who wasn't pissy and tired? So We have to now focus. If we're going to call out this whistleblower and dox them, then we need to identify them. We need to, because that's what you got to do with whistleblowers is identify them and then call them out into the public, and then maybe they'll be quiet.
Well, no, I mean, whistleblowers, it's
terrible idea.
They're doing public service.
Exactly.
The opposite of that. You don't dox them.
Right, exactly.
Anti-dox.
Anti-dox them. So anyways.
Kind of parallel to this. I mean, Seth gets dumped on a lot.
He does.
Sometimes he brings it on himself.
Yes.
With his own Twitter activity, unfortunately. Like, I think Seth means well. I think he wants to be a locker room leader. I'm sure he considers himself one. And sometimes he does it publicly in ways that would make people think he is a shill for the company he works for.
Yeah.
I don't like saying that. I like Seth. He's really good in the ring.
Yeah.
I think he has the talent, the ability to be up there with some of the greats this industry has ever seen in terms of in-ring ability, marketability, being a mainstream superstar. He has the ingredients. It's not really his fault he's never reached those heights. Creative now is just a mess. I mean, I don't know if it's somewhat surprising that Becky Lynch, I mean, she's immensely talented, has all the talent in the world, and I don't want to take away from any of her hard work or efforts to build herself into the star becomes. But given how WWE's star-making machine is apparently antiquated, outdated, and not able to operate as Vince would hope it would, it's remarkable that Becky has gotten herself to the point where she is, and it's just entirely a testament to her abilities, not the abilities of really anybody in WWE.
Let me ask you this, because I think I know what the answer is. We all saw for 3 years, how Roman handled his situation of Vince pushing him out there to be the top guy, everybody knowing it and everybody resisting it, and everybody dumping on Roman whenever he would come out. And we saw how he handled it with as much grace as anybody could possibly be expected to.
Never betrayed.
Never wavered.
Smallest scintilla of frustration.
Seth, it's all over his face.
Yeah.
When there is a modicum of booze coming his way, he feels the need to respond to it, which any normal person would. But I wonder if it's one of those things where it's like, man, I know you can sort of see why they went all in on Roman as much as they did, because that dude could handle it.
Yeah.
Seth, it's obvious they're still high on Seth. He's, they're going to keep on putting titles on him and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, he definitely does not have as thick a skin as Roman. And that's just, Roman. I don't know if Roman would be hitting up Twitter saying, "Hey, Dave Meltzer, you're a big fat liar."
No, he would never do that.
Seth is definitely a different personality.
At least I don't think Roman would do that. I don't think he would.
I would highly doubt it. If anything, he'd subtweet. He wouldn't tag somebody.
Yeah. He said something like, "Hey, don't believe everything you read."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but that keeps him above the fray. It really does. Well, Seth, the problem with Seth is that he gets into the fray, and he usually makes his case worse for him. Now, last night when he was talking about, you want to talk about the Grimm stuff?
Yeah, I think the Joe Cronin thing is a good segue from him getting into the kind of the grist stuff. Apparently Joe Cronin, who we've met before.
Yeah, Joe's really nice to us, and I like
he'll
Joe.
show up at our streams from time to time. He posted a video apparently about Seth. This is a recap from Slam Sports. According to Slam Sports, this is what Joe had to say. Quote, "Rollins has turned into a full-on prick. He thinks he needs to go heel because he is a heel. He very much reminds me of Bret Hart from 1996, 1997 time when Bret was becoming heel, but not even on purpose. He just sounded like a whiny asshole." And then, according to Slam here, Cronin said he was a fan of Rollins. And again, I don't think those are mutually exclusive sentiments. Yeah. He can very much be a fan of Seth Rollins' work, but just not appreciate this presentation of Seth Rollins at the time. And then I guess Cronin kind of wrapped Grimm. Again, we've met Grimm.
Oh, Grimm's great.
Hilarious.
Yeah, he's awesome.
And showed us some video of Grimm getting something signed by Seth Rollins and shaking his hand. And then Cronin used this as an example of Rollins, as Slam here puts it, being dismissive towards his fans. This is a quote again. as Slam has it, quote, he literally acts like a shithead on this video. And then Grimm tweeted at Joe, said, quote, in his defense, I think he just didn't like me. Not all the fans. He laughing my ass off. He was super nice to everyone else.
And then Rollins responded to that and said, Grimm, you knew what you were doing by bringing that picture to me. So don't say I don't like you. Other guy with the YouTube show, meaning Cronin, you're a real coward, man. To dedicate 8 minutes to belittling another human being. Hope you get a couple of clicks for this comment. That's sad, dude.
Yeah. And then someone asked Seth if he watched the whole video because Joe said he just didn't like this current iteration of Seth. And Seth responded, quote, I did all 8 minutes where he repeatedly called me a piece of shit and a prick.
Yeah.
And then Rollins tweeted, Grimm, a gift from Step Brothers.
Yeah.
Said, I think we're best friends now.
We just become best friends?
We just become best friends. Yep.
Yeah, that was heartwarming. See, that kind of thing was interesting to me because, and like we said, like we like Joe. He's always been nice to us, and I like him. But when you call somebody out on YouTube, and Joe's got a following,
yeah,
you know, when you call somebody out like that on YouTube, you kind of got to be. I mean, I don't know. Like that's one thing that we try to clarify, unless we're being specific about how somebody is behaving off camera, or not in character. But it's like we try to clarify.
We separate the performance from the performer.
Yeah.
Yes.
And like, you know, generally I'd like to give people the benefit of the doubt when it comes to who they are as a person outside the ring.
Absolutely.
I mean, there are assholes everywhere, but there's also a lot of nice people in the world.
And the vast majority of people are complex people.
Yeah.
For the most part, they're nice. Catch them on the wrong day.
Yeah.
Not so much, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, Seth, it's obvious that Seth is a very passionate person.
Yes.
And that's why, like, when I see him, you know, one thing that sort of has bugged me about Seth off camera, I guess if you will, like when fans who are interested in knowing more about the product, when you criticize that person, you're really doing a disservice to your fan base.
Yeah.
Because a guy can sit there at a convention and say, hey, you know, and maybe the question wasn't phrased as eloquently as it should have, but when somebody called into question the use of scripted promos, and Seth was like, well, I guess you have all the answers. I don't recall seeing you backstage. That kind of bugs.
It's condescending. And
it is.
You mentioning Seth being passionate about his job and being passionate about professional wrestling. It would be cool in a moment like that, rather than being dismissive, if he said, oh, here's someone here who shares the passion for this business. They may not be in it to the extent that I am, but here's someone who shares a passion for wrestling like I do. Rather than forge a wedge between them, let's build a bridge and broaden this community.
Yeah.
Instead of, there's still this, in certain circles of pro wrestling, this curtain that's up between performer and viewer, where there's something about wrestling that has to be protected, I feel like.
Yeah.
That still exists in certain circles.
Hold on 1 second. I'm going to stop the stream and restart it because we're dropping frames.
Yeah, no, we're having all sorts of stream issues.
So give us 1 second here. I mean, hopefully this works. We're not dropping frames now, but who knows how long that'll be until it starts happening again. So, yeah, there it goes. Dropping frames again.
Bummer. And we'll just have to re-upload it.
Yeah, it'll come. We'll just have to re-upload it.
So it's an opportunity like that where he can make connections with fans because of a shared passion for something. And that's one thing. And I don't want to bring up AEW for the sake of bringing AEW. That's something that the Young Bucks and Cody are brilliant at. They realize that they are where they are because of a community they've built and they've fostered.
Yeah,
and they keep that connection alive. And that's something WWE is still not great at.
Yeah, I know. They think that like the fan Vince, I think when I say they, I mean Vince. Vince has always seemed to have this attitude of like, I know what the people want and they're gonna like it whether they want to or not. You know what I mean? It's like a really weird thing. Seth is in an interesting position, and it's funny because it has been refreshing to see, especially Cody, and I think they're different situations, but it's been refreshing to see Cody. You know, AEW has been under a microscope at like the quantum level.
Mm-hmm.
Anything they do is subject to fans saying this isn't good enough.
Yeah.
The Fight TV UK thing, how Fight announced it early, accidentally apparently. ITV, sorry.
Yeah.
And then Tony Khan and Cody had to sort of scramble and say, okay, everybody, we're working to make this better for you. The level of cool-headedness and honestly like a thick skin, like we only see it from the outside. I couldn't imagine the notifications that Cody gets, regarding AEW, because the fans, I'm not going to say the fans, but there is, and this goes with any popular thing, there is always an extremely vocal, small subset of fans that can make your life miserable if you don't do everything perfect. And AEW's on such like this weird irrational microscope that people are like, oh my God, it's not, you guys aren't doing everything perfect. How are you? You're burying Kenny Omega, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. And so, and it's unbelievable. Seth, in his position, I would say that his feet is a little bit more to the fire, because he's got to understand that WWE does a lot of stuff that's anti-fan, and yet he does consider it his job to toe the company line, because I mean, for Christ's sakes, they're paying him an ass ton of money.
Yeah.
They treat him like $1 million.
Yeah.
And what is he supposed to say? Oh, this company sucks because the Revival. Could he handle it better? Sure, but he's a human being.
Yeah.
I mean, I honestly have no idea. Like what Tony Khan and especially Cody does for AEW almost seems superhuman. It really does. You are required to have a level of calm and cool, having a cool head and restraint.
Yeah.
That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah, you mentioned, when you mentioned Roman earlier, it's the same thing. Like in hindsight, all the stuff that he probably had to deal with.
Yeah, sure.
And the amount of grace with which he handled it is pretty damn amazing.
Yeah, it's absolutely impressive.
Yeah,
it really is. So yeah, I'm gonna say for Seth, I'm gonna say it's a hard yay.
Hard yay, huh?
Hard yay, absolutely. Because like I said, the dude is human. He just all he wants to do is wrestle and put on really good matches, and he does the best he can under the situation he's in. And he's supposed to be like that. Like if people don't respond. I mean, dude, could you imagine getting up in front of your peers, and you're trying to be the rah-rah guy. You're trying to whip up morale.
You're trying to be a leader, yeah.
And it's not really your thing.
Yeah.
But you're trying your damnedest. Yeah. Randy Orton's cracking jokes. Rusev is saying stuff, who knows what.
Yeah.
And you're up there, and all of a sudden, and then somebody with an agenda leaks out to Meltzer.
Yeah.
It came off as awkward.
Yeah.
Fuck you, man.
I'm going to say this. I'm going to say the man, Colby Lopez, a yay for me.
Okay, hard yay.
The character of Seth Rollins right now is kind of a soft nay.
The character of Seth Rollins right now. So does this character leak into his Twitter? Or is it exclusively what you see on TV?
No, I think at times, especially when he's maybe seemingly at his most vulnerable, that's Colby.
Here's one of the things about Seth.
So like when he's getting a little rattled by some booze, that's Colby.
Here's the thing about Colby also. Yeah. If you're going to go on Twitter and claim to have a little fun with the fans, you can't turn around and blast them either.
Yeah.
Necessarily.
Yeah.
Because you're putting yourself out there, you're engaging, and if you get some backlash to that, you can't be terribly surprised.
No.
As far as the character Seth is concerned,
here's the thing with the character of Seth. That's a collaborative effort. That's part Colby.
Yeah, sure.
That's creative. And I think as the character of Seth, he's probably doing the most he thinks he can with it.
Yeah.
With creative that hasn't always been the
where
best.
The character is today and where the character was 12 months ago, pretty different, and it's gone downhill.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree with that. I definitely agree with that.
Yes.
So, yeah. Anyways, apologies to people watching live.
Yeah, our apologies that the stream is not good.
We're going to reboot this thing, or we're going to upload it properly.
Yes.
Yeah, that sucks. Gee, I don't know what the fucking deal with this is. Probably our internet. Who knows? Everything's fine and everything's not fine.
It seemed like for the longest time it was an issue, but now today apparently it's an issue.
And then we have it's not really. It's kind of non-news. Do we have like some actual non-news?
No, I kind of like doing non-news this way because it's almost like an overrun, but it gives us a news brief. It gives us the opportunity to discuss things more than just do a straight up news dump.
Yeah, totally.
I kind of like this approach, some hot takes in there, if you will.
Yeah, man.
And having it just for the patrons too.
Joker reviews, hot takes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll do another Joker review.
Board games.
Yeah, board games. And then tomorrow on bonus episode, we have is tomorrow WWE 2K or NBA 2K?
Oh, it's up to I'll edit the wrestling one tonight.
You're doing the wrestling one?
Yeah, I don't care what.
I'll do the NBA one. Last week we did the NBA one on Wednesday.
I guess so, yeah.
Okay, I'll do the NBA one tonight, and we'll just get it up tomorrow.
Right.
Okay, and then on Thursday, bonus episode is going to be some WWE 2K gameplay. I think we're going to try to do like monthly with 2K20 being such a mess, such a goddamn mess. It's going to be. I don't know. Like I did not buy the deluxe version of the game.
Yeah.
And so even downloading the good friendo Ears of Justice.
Yeah, man. He has some cool looking
Blood
characters.
Raisin. It was like you need to have China, you need to have Hollywood Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
And I'm like, fucking really? What? I don't want to. That doesn't sound.
Did you see Sunrise? His new character?
No, I didn't.
No, I thought you commented on it.
Sunrise?
Yeah, the one the eye dripping down off the face.
Yeah. I did. Yeah, I forgot her name was Sunrise.
Her name was Sunrise.
He said it just crashes the game. Like he can't actually play any matches.
Jeez.
That's hilarious. That's messed up.
It is messed up.
So he did say that he fixed Blood Raisin so that maybe it's not going to be an issue. But like I got to put this out there to people. How do I get the characters in the are the number one? Have you heard? Are they actually issuing refunds?
I just saw one thing about PlayStation issuing refunds.
Okay, because what I might do is get a refund for 2K19, the regular game.
You mean 2K20?
2K20, and then buy the deluxe version.
Spend the extra $40.
Spend the extra $40 for that, so that I can download creative characters. But the game, the way it is, trying to do like even a monthly gaming thing,
it's an uphill battle, man.
It really is. Like people like Macho T yesterday was saying that he couldn't download stuff like logos and stuff. Anything with like a logo you couldn't download.
Still don't fix that, huh?
It's terrible.
Yeah.
It's awful.
Yeah,
so
it's a mess.
Because of that, I think we're gonna do one wrestling gaming episode per week for bonus episode. Because I know a lot of people out there really like the bonus, really like the gaming stuff, and I just don't see much value putting it on the main channel. Like for that, I want the stuff that really matters.
Yeah.
For Patreon stuff, none of the stuff we does matter. That's not true. But yeah, like that sort of like goofiness, trying to break the game, doing some my career stuff like that, and then I do want to do still one non-wrestling gaming video a week. So that'll be the Wednesday thing. Thursday thing will be the wrestling video game stuff. Yeah. And then we'll just take it from there.
Friday's Ask Stephen Larson. So that's kind of the schedule right there. Then.
And then Monday and Tuesday is going to be overruns as they usually are.
Well, I think it's a good idea to have something a little more concrete than.
Oh no! When I say as they are, I mean
the last 2 days, like yesterday and today.
Like the Joker review one we did yesterday. Hold on a second. By the way, if you go to youtube.com/friendoville. I've got my own demonetized, by the way, ladder match video where I get a ladder to levitate above the ring for a good 2 seconds. It's great. It's performing really well, too. Like I got 1,600 views on it. For my channel. That's bonkers. What was I going to look at?
I don't know.
Oh, the Joker review. I want to see how the Joker review did. Because a lot of people were into that. We got to sign up a bunch of new patrons, and I think it was just because of the Joker review.
That's why I kind of wondered if we approach overrun like this, more substantive.
I agree, totally.
And bring more people in.
Yeah. And it's more fun for us, too.
It is.
It's more fun just talking about a meaty subject.
And I kind of wonder, too, if as a value proposition for us, whether it'd be better to handle news brief as we have on occasion on the main channel or just kind of fold it into overrun. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. News brief. Wait, do what now?
Fold news brief into overrun.
Ooh, I don't know about that.
To look at the numbers.
Yeah, because I'm not huge on that. Just because, like, if we're going to claim to be the place for pro wrestling, like, we can't paywall actual news.
We can paywall our take on actual news.
I'm like, this is fine because
this is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's fine. But news brief is news brief is where we actually talk about news.
Yeah. It just feels like sitting here and doing this dumping information on people. This is a little more interesting. I'm just saying from a content perspective.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
As a creator.
I just think that we still need to dump news. This is like the best. The Joker review is like the best performing one in a while. I think it's because it's like it's focused.
Yeah,
you know? It's what people want to hear.
It's a better value proposition for people in hearing us dork around about stuff.
Yeah, our internet's still terrible. Anyways, I think
let's deal with that.
That's a good solid bonus episode today.
Everybody's asking for refunds.
Yeah, so I can't do it. Anyways, thanks everybody for tuning in. We appreciate it. Till next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.